Photoshop Beta just got a major upgrade. Nano Banana 2 is now built in, and it's great at generating text, higher resolutions, and actually sticking to your prompt. In this video, I'll show you what it does better than Nano Pro, plus tips for getting the best results. First off, prompting. So here we are in Photoshop Beta, and I'm taking a look at Nano Banana 2. I use the Generative fill command from the edit menu so I can get this larger prompt window, which I really like. So recently they added the ability to add reference images for some of the partner models, which I really like. But one thing right off the bat, when I choose Nano Banana 2, I noticed that you can't use a reference image for this one. So one of the good things about Nano Banana 2 is that it doesn't stray far from your prompt. So I'm going to do change the scene to an outdoor running track using Nano Banana 2. So here's the studio shot, and here's what Nano Banana 2 came up with. All I put in the prompt was to change the scene. Look at the dust on the ground coming up from her feet. It's very realistic. What's great is I didn't have to add into the prompt anything about the lighting. It added a background that was angled exactly so it fit with the camera angle from the studio shot. Next, generating text. So one of the things that Nano Banana 2 is really good at is working with type. So for instance, I have my logo here, which consists of some type. Now I'm going to put this logo on this hat and this water bottle to create two product mockups. It can actually recognize which parts of the image that it's looking at are the logo, the hat, and the water bottle. So you can see here it added the logo to the front of the hat and the water bottle, and it kept the shading, and it actually looks like it's wrapped around, and it didn't mess with the typography. That's something that Nano 2 is really good at. So here's a comparison between Nano Banana 2 and Nano Banana Pro. You can see on 2 that both the color is more accurate and the way it wraps around the bottle versus in Pro, it just looks like it's been put on top. This is because Nano Banana 2 is much better at typography and logos with typography in them. So here's another good example of how Nano Banana 2 does typography really well. I have this prompt where I asked it to add the word bounty as the label of the soda can. It really made it look like an actual label on a can. I didn't give it any prompting for fonts or anything. And just to show you what Nano Pro came up with, you can see using typography, it really made the label on the can look realistic. So you actually get the context of the label rather than just a label on a can. Next, higher resolution. So here's an example of a high resolution image that I'm using, and I prompted with both Nano Banana 2 and Nano Banana Pro to add an astronaut in the image. So this is Nano Banana Pro. So this is at 100%. You can see the difference in the original image that's very crisp and the Nano Banana Pro version. Now when I do this with Nano Banana 2, it keeps the crispness of the original image. So if you need a high resolution image, it's better to use Nano Banana 2. So here's an important tip. So I started out trying to combine this image of this astronaut with this background, but didn't get much help with Nano Banana 2. It just had a hard time with the visor and the background. What I ended up doing was creating a larger file so it could recognize the astronaut as a separate image from the background. And this way it worked, and it added all of this colored lighting, put him behind the flowers, and did the reflection on the visor. So just keep that in mind if you're using Nano Banana 2 in Photoshop Beta. I think it had a harder time detecting the separate images, particularly because you can't add a reference image with Nano Banana 2. So here's some tips to get you started.
First off, if you combine things, make sure you have separate images on the artboard and that they're not on top of each other to get the best results. Next, you don't have to add as many details in your prompt with Nano 2. If you leave the prompt simple, it will add the right lighting and angles to your image. Nano 2 is really good at generating images with type or logos with type in them. If you're editing an image, it's better to use Nano Banana 2 if you're looking for a higher resolution result. So check out Nano Banana 2 in Photoshop Beta, and if you're looking for any more tips on AI tools, make sure and subscribe.